Continue now with Toyota and the new report that says the troubled automaker could see a 30% boost in sales thanks to an aggressive incentive campaign. The research group Edmunds.com conducted the study, and the CEO of Edmunds, Jeremy Anwyl, is with us now. Joining us as well from Los Angeles, Bloomberg's Ohnsman. Gentlemen, welcome to both of you. So let me start with you, Jeremy. How did you guys come up with this 30% sales increase figure?
Sure. Well, and it is probably a surprise to a lot of people. But simply, we track what's been happening on the internet, and then more pointedly, we actually have dealers who are reporting sales to us on a weekly basis. So basically, this is looking at actual sales, and this is what we're seeing. I have to tell you, though, the initial number is even higher than that. Our 30% number is a forecast for the whole month of March versus the month of March last year.
So these incentives must be something else. I mean, how do they stack up to previous programs that various automakers have put out over the years?
Yeah. Well, I think the best way to compare it is to look at what Toyota normally does. And these incentives have sweetened the pot by about 25%. So what's really happening here is consumers are pretty savvy and they smell a bargain. And these are good deals on Toyotas. You don't normally see these kinds of offers out there.
But why perhaps are these consumers not concerned with the safety issues, especially with the Prius? I mean, just in the last couple of days, there have been more accelerator issues and accidents here in New York as well as in Southern California, were the latest two.
Yeah, and that's sort of the obvious question, although I think that, as I said, consumers are pretty savvy. I think they realize that the odds of having a problem with a Toyota are relatively small. If you're buying a new one from a dealer, it would have had all the recall fixes on it, so that helps out as well. And the counterintuitive side of it is that consumers think that because of the publicity, that dealers are going to be even more anxious to make deals. So again, It goes back to the cars are on sale.
All right, so at Edmunds.com, which Toyota models are consumers most interested in?
Well, the one thing we should mention is the Prius is not covered. So when you're looking at their volume vehicles, you're talking about Camrys and Corollas. I think right now it's pretty much across the board. But it should be mentioned that the Prius is not one of the vehicles that has the special offers.
And one idea that my colleague Ohnsman, Alan, if you want to jump in here too as well, this idea of we're concerned that it could spark a price war, Toyota, among some of the other automakers.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting that for Toyota, their incentive levels are generally less than what you'd see from other car companies. So already GM's incentives, Ford's incentives are a little bit richer. Do they feel they need to respond? I guess we'll find out in the next few days. But the positive side of this is that what happens when the market increases, for one car company, it tends to increase for all of them. So hopefully March will be a strong month for everyone.
Jeremy, I wonder, you mentioned it's approximately 25% more cost to Toyota, or 25% more generous than what they've done previously. Do you have sort of a number you're working with, ballpark, what you think, like on an average per vehicle basis, what they're spending this month?
Ballpark, we're going to see around $2,500 on a per car sold basis. Normally it's a couple thousand, somewhere a little bit less than that. So it's about 25% higher.
Any ideas or thoughts as to what sort of financial impact all of these incentives will cost Toyota in the end?
Well, that's a good question. I don't think it's anywhere near as bad in terms of the financial impact of all the recalls, which is going to be up in the several billions. So in terms of the incremental cost, it might be a little bit less than $1 billion. I'm not really an expert on calculating out in terms of financial impacts. I don't think it's going to be that bad, though.
All right, Jeremy Anwyl of Edmunds.com and my colleague Ohnsman with Bloomberg News talking Toyota and this 30% predicted sales increase due to incentives on models. Okay.